And now I can bring up whatever somebody's going to bitch about. So on the 19th of February, I posted something on Facebook.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
Follow simple directions. Oh, I bet this is it. Hold on. You're showing as do not disturb. See what I posted on the 19th? I will be watching this fight. Wilder better be careful this time around. Anybody watch the fight? No, because it's not a comic book character, so y'all didn't watch it. So, Wilder, been the WBA heavyweight champion for a good long while, a couple of years, I think. And Fury was the Lineal champion. Do you know the difference between the WBA champion and the Lineal champion?
No.
The Lineal champion is somebody who's won the championship from all 3 divisions. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
In other words, there's like 3 or 4 divisions. And when Mike Tyson had all 3 belts. So when Lennox Lewis or Evander Holyfield, whichever one, I can't remember, I think it was Lennox Lewis. When Lennox Lewis beat Mike Tyson, he became the Lineal champion because he had all 3 belts. Everybody with me? Mm-hmm. So Lineal champion means you have all 3 belts or you beat somebody that had all 3 belts. So Tyson Fury, that guy right there, he's from England. Actually, Scotland, Ireland, I can't remember which one he's from, but everybody ever heard of him before? He's like 6'9" and a half, okay? The guy is tall. Wilder is 6'7", which is, 2 inches, but they're still tall people, all right? Fury became the Lineal champion a couple of years ago, right before the belts got divided, okay, because he lost the belt he didn't lose it. He just went into semi-retirement because he was having problems dealing with the fame and fortune, drugs, depression, all that. Got up to 380 pounds, okay? All right? He came back about a year and a half ago, about a year ago, I can't remember. He came back, started training, started, doing whatever. And then he had a fight in December of last year with Wilder. And I watched the fight, and my personal opinion as a boxing person, not a pro or anything, but I watch a lot of boxing, Tyson Fury won the fight. Now, he got knocked down twice. One, I believe it was kind of a trip or off balance. The second one, he got knocked out, and then he did. Now, I know y'all know who the can't think of his name right now. No, the wrestler that Undertaker. Everybody knows who the Undertaker is, right? So y'all know who that is. Well, what does the Undertaker do when he gets slammed down? He raises up, does that sit up like Michael Myers on Halloween. Well, Tyson Fury did that. He got knocked out, and about 2 seconds into the count, he raised up, and nobody's ever gotten up from Wilder's knockout. All right? So I watched the whole first fight, and I said, okay, pretty much a tie, but I believe, Tyson Fury won the fight. Well, they called it a tie. So they had this second one here. They had the second one, and I put that on there because I've been watching when HBO or when Showtime or when whoever, ESPN, whoever sponsors these big heavyweight fights, they show everything leading up to the fight. Y'all with me? So I watched a lot of the pre stuff. And I was watching the 2 fighters train. Okay? So I watched the first fight, and I watched these shows about their training up to the fight. So what would you call that? Maybe experience? Maybe watching them? You wouldn't call it experience from a personal level, but you would watch it, up to that Okay, I believe Tyson Fury is going to win this fight. Now, why did I say that? Because Tyson Fury moved to Las Vegas. He's got a home and training site in Las Vegas, and left his kids and family back in England. Okay? He hired 2 nutritionalists, what do you call them? Nutritionists? Whatever. And he dropped down from like I think he was right at 320 and dropped down to like 270. Okay? For this guy to be down to 270, that took a lot of what? Willpower or whatever, determination. I watched the Wilder videos, and he was training, but he had his family with him. He had all his entourage with him all the time. He was doing shows and stuff like that. Kind of like the Rocky III scenario. Y'all remember Rocky III? Yes. Clubber Lang was raw and determined, and Rocky was doing all these television, magazine things, and he got his butt whooped. This is exactly what happened. He got his butt whooped in 3 rounds. In the 3rd round, he didn't know where he was at. It was really, nobody watched it. God. Anyway, so I told the future. So anybody want to give me some money and I'll tell you the future? What did I do? I took experience, I took logic, took a little bit of mathematics. Okay, mathematics being, deducing who had most determination. And he beat him within 3 rounds. The first fight, anybody know how many rounds the first fight went? 12 rounds. So I just brought that up. I brought it up to the 106, the 103 class, and the 120 class yesterday, in this class, because you can predict some things that's going to happen, but you can't predict the future. Does that make sense? Okay. I just wanted to see if anybody knew that. So I kind of I should have bet on it. I should have bet at least, but I really think that Vegas was probably saying Fury was going to win anyway, especially after they weighed in. He weighed in at 270. Deontay Wilder weighed in at about 15 or 16 pounds over the last fight, so he was up on weight. And he said, "Oh, it is what it is." Right before the fight, they asked him, "It is what it is. I don't know why I don't know why I'm up 15 pounds. Come on, you either know if you've been eating pancakes or you've been in the gym. Which one is it?" So, and y'all don't give a crap, so forget it.
Well, now we don't need this yet because you gave a very clear description.
Yeah, right. Whatever. Anyway, it wasn't a good fight. The first one was a good fight. The second one really, it was it's kind of a letdown. And before the fight, and that's what chalk and trash gets you. Before the fight, Wilder was like, "I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out." At the end of the fight, "Well, I had some things going on," and you had some things going on. Just say you got your butt whooped. Oh well, y'all really don't care, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with class. I thought it would be something, interesting, but y'all settle down. So, y'all looked at the videos. Let me see if you looked at the videos and you looked at the videos and I'm going to go ahead and write down what you need to be worried about on this test. 1, 4.1, 4.2, I told you slope, make sure you know the slope, make sure you know correlation, make sure you know how to, is it 2 L's or 1 L? I don't know. Make sure you can find R, whether it's technology or calculator, and make sure you know what causality is. And then, of course, the rest of the unit is probability, general probability. and then odds against, and we're going to go into the additive rule, the multiplicative rule. Oh Lord, battery's going dead. The multiplicative rule and counting. Now, yesterday's class, I did a kind of a general review because y'all seen all the videos, the one person that watched it, okay? So, I've covered all the way down to multiplying, okay? So, I'm going to cover everything for the 20-something people that didn't watch the videos like they were supposed to, but I'm not going to go into it into depth, because that's what the videos were for, and that's why I gave y'all the day off Thursday. Okay? Didn't we have a day off Thursday or Tuesday? Was it Tuesday?
No,
No.
you didn't give us a day off. Tri-County gave us a day off.
Okay. You're just like my mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law. Get the hell out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, y'all, let me rephrase for those that are technically savvy. Y'all had the day off, okay? Y'all had the day off Tuesday, right? Y'all had the day off Thursday, right? Okay, we were here. Okay, I gave the Friday class. Oh, I thought we had snow Thursday. I thought everybody was going to die Thursday. Oh, was that Friday? Okay, I got Friday mixed up. Okay, my apologies. I didn't give y'all a day. Whatever. Oh, God. That's why I'm not married to this day. That's why I'm not married. Anyway, so I went over 4.1 and 4.2. General probability. What is the probability of a king? Probability of a king is 4 over what? 52. Reduce it. Reduce it decimal. What is the probability of a 6 on a die? 1 over 6. Reduce it or turn it into a decimal. What is the probability of 2 boys? 2 boys in a family of 2 children, or 2 children, that'd be 1 out of what? 4. Okay, we went over all that. That was the day in class that I was here. Okay, odds against. What is the odds against? Probability of what? Failure over the probability of what?
Success.
Or the probability of winning. Oh, I'm sorry. Probability of losing over the probability of winning. So let's go with 4 over 52. Okay, that's winning. So 48 over 52 would be losing, right? So 4 over 52, and then times 52 over 48. I'm sorry, 52 over 4. And what happens to the 52s? And you get 48 over 4, which is equal to what? 12 to what? 12 to 1. On a $500 bet, if I bet $500 and I'm going to pick a king out of a card, if I get that king, then I win what? 6,000? Somebody check me. Multiply by 12 over 1. Somebody multiply 500 times 12. Please. Thank you, one person. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so that's odds against. And I think that's where I got to. And then we had a confusing week last week with all the crap going on. And I told you to look over the videos for additive and multiplying. I'm going to go over it briefly today and get into counting. Okay? So, I'm going to erase all this. And the additive law. multiplicative law, there's two things you got to be careful of. One, anybody know what the first thing is? The word what? Or. Probability of this or that. The question will say, what is the probability of this or that? And it usually is the last sentence right before the question mark. Okay? And the second thing you got to be able to do is make sure that you always subtract the what? The overlap. Most of the additive problems you need to put into a table form. And it'll make life a whole lot easier. For instance, I always use, if you watch my video from yesterday, I use the same one. I use blood types. You can put that in a table. RH positive, RH negative, what is it? O, A, B, and AB. Is that right?
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 5, 7, 1. Okay, this is the problem. They give you a table or they give you a LA paragraph, okay, a long attitude paragraph, and you got to get it into a table, which is not hard if you read the paragraph. It's really not hard. Okay? So I'm going to ask, here's question 1. I want the probability of O or AB. Now, everybody get your highlighters out, or your colored pencils, or your colored pens if you got them. Because this is where you need to use it. And I would suggest using it. Of course, there are people that invented statistics and already don't need it, but I'm going to tell you, you might want to use it. So I'm going to color that yellow, and I'm going to highlight O column. I'm going to color this green, and I'm going to highlight that column. Now, in probability, you have to have a denominator, right? Yes, you have to have a denominator. So, what's our denominator always? It's usually the what? The total, Hubert. That's right, class. So, let's add up. There's a 10, there's a 10. So, we got 20 on top, and we got 8, 9, 10, 15. I think we got 15 on the bottom, right? So 15, 35. Somebody add those up for me, please. Got 16 on the bottom. Thank you. So 36. I'm asking y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, simple yes.
36.
I guess there's 36. Nobody's going to say anything, or you mumbled. So, can somebody say yes out loud if 36 is the correct answer?
Yes.
Thank you. Instead of all right. So, what is my O? Well, I'll take my yellow and I go 2. So y'all can bitch. I can't see it. 2 plus 3. And then I take my green and I go plus 8 plus 1. And then I take red and I subtract my overlap. Is there an overlap of the two colors? No. So is 0 here. And that's equal to 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 9 minus 0 all over 36, and that's equal to 14 over 36, and you can reduce that to what? 7 over what? 7 over 18. Somebody help me out there. And change that into a decimal as needed. That's the additive law. Now, a lot of people say, well, why didn't you just do this? My job is to teach people that don't know how to do this. My job is to not teach people that already know how to do it but want to do it a shorter way. Okay? My job is to teach people that do not know how to do it. Okay? All right, let's do a nerd. So this one's number 2. Number 2, I want the probability of A or RH negative. All right, you do that one. Use your highlighters, and it won't be a problem. I just learned how to do this yesterday, but I can delete that. No, it's not going to let me. Dang it. I did it yesterday. Just going to delete the whole. Okay. Okay, it worked. All right, so I'm going to go with something that you can use. I'm going to use the blue here. And I'm going to use the magenta. So let's take our highlighter and do the blue. A. And then take our magenta and do the RH negative. Now, we know that the denominator is still what? 36. Now my blue is 4 plus 5. And then my magenta is what? Plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 1. I don't know what blue and magenta will make. I'm not an artsy person, so I'm just going to use red. And what's my overlap? 5. And now you can do the problem. So 4 plus 5 is 9. And 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. Minus 5 over 36. And that's going to equal 9 plus 16 is what? 25. 25 minus 5 is 20. 20 over 36, which is what? 10 over, well, I think 4 will go in there. What, 5 over 9? Somebody help me out. And change into a decimal if needed. Piece of cake. As long as you follow that, and I always get a student, why don't you just cancel out the 5s? Again, I'm not here to teach people that already know how to do it. I'm here to teach people that don't know how to do it. And I'm going to tell you, there's some teachers here at Tri-County Tech that show the additive law and the multiplicative law, and they lobotomize half the class. So that's the easiest way that I've seen to teach it. Okay? Question on the additive law. All you got to remember is what? Always subtract the what? Overlap. If you put it in table form, life is a whole lot what? Easier. Capiche? Thank you. Appreciate the two people that interact with me. Y'all hopefully will not be in a closet office in the future. And your boss will like you for, communicating. I'm trying to get rid of all this, so just give me a second. I know it's not going to work right, but I haven't had training yet on this whiteboard, so. I'll tell y'all something funny though. We're hosting a conference at the Pendleton campus this Saturday, and they've asked me to present the way I do the Polycom room. I broadcast out to the different, and I told them I would do it, and they said, well, we want you to do it at Pendleton. Does everybody understand what they just asked me to do? They want me to do it at Pendleton. They want me to show them how to do the Polycom at Pendleton. Well, who am I going to broadcast out to? So they wanted me to take a broadcast type presentation, and they want me to show it at Pendleton. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. If you want to see the broadcast, I will do it from Anderson. Oh, no, we don't want you to do that. Does anybody see I don't know if it's called irony there or they want me to present a broadcast methodology of teaching to multiple campuses, but they want me to show it at Pendleton.
At least they didn't ask you to make a board, like
a poster. Yeah. I told them I'd do it. They finally agreed. Okay, you can do it from Pendleton. From Anderson. Thanks a lot, T-Rex. I wish that somebody would say that I'm not crazy, but I think I'm not crazy. If you're going to present a streaming service, shouldn't you present it streaming? Okay, I just wanted somebody to verify that. Okay, thank you. I just needed one person, because of course none of y'all are going to say anything. So. Multiplicative law. Multiplicative law, again, we got to write in red. There's some things you got to watch out for. Anybody know the word for the multiplicative law? Not or, but, oh my gosh, somebody watched the videos? Did you watch the videos, or did you know that?
I just knew that.
No figures. 2, you got to determine, anybody know this? You got to determine whether it's what? With replacement or the opposite of with. Thank you. With replacement does not change the statistics, so that is independent. Without replacement changes the statistics, so it is dependent. I don't use that terminology. I use with or without replacement. So how do we do this? Well, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to erase all this. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to erase all this over here. Yes.
Even though you said that you don't on like our test one, how are we going to see it as independent or with replacement or without replacement?
You see both. You'll see both on the test or the homework. They may use either one. That's why you got to know both. Just remember, and it's important for you to remember, with replacement, and when I explain it with the Marlboro bag, not Marlboro, marble, okay? Some of y'all that are in the Marlboro Club know I'm not talking about cigarettes. Marble, okay? When I explain the marble bag, you'll understand what the difference is a little bit better, okay? So let me pull up. And the reason I use the marble bag is because it's KISS method. It's pretty simple, short and sweet. So let me pull up a dang old. There's a bag. I think that's pretty good. And for a non-artistic person. And let's put in some green marbles. How about 4 green marbles? And 7 blue marbles. A lot of people say, why do you always go to the right side of the board? On these Epsons, when you go to the left side, it doesn't do right. So that's why I stay on the right side with the menu. If anybody cares. Let's go with, I don't think they make magenta marbles, so I'm going to say 8 red marbles. And I like yellow, so and I like to hear y'all bitch. So I'm going to put yellow so you can see it. 4 yellow marbles. Everybody with me? So somebody add those up. 23 marbles, maybe? Somebody add them up for me. 23. Now, think about if I ask you to draw a marble out of the bag. Pull a marble out of the bag. Well, if you pull it out and you put it back in, you write it down and you put it back in, then it's independent. Why? Because how many marbles are still in the bag? 23. But if I tell you to take the marble out and put it in your pocket and write it down, what does that do to the statistics of the marble bag? It changes it. It goes from 23 to what? 22, and that's dependent. Everybody with me? And that usually clears the air, and you got to remember it because they'll, on the homework and the test, will use this, and you'll be like, okay, which one's that? That's why you got to think in terms of, is it changing the statistic, or is the statistic staying status quo or staying the same? With replacement means that nothing is changing. Changing is without replacement, is dependent. Okay? So, here's what the question will look like with the multiplicative law. What is the probability of picking a blue marble and a blue marble and a blue marble? I better put blue there before somebody, I better put a blue B there. B, B, and B. So we're going to pick 3 times, and we want to know what is the probability of picking 3 blue marbles in a row. Well, I can tell you right now it's very low. Okay? Think about it. If you mix that bag of marbles up, and you said, okay, I'm going to pick 3 marbles in a row. What's the chances of that? Very low. Okay? Y'all should know that by common sense. But how do you do it? Well, you ask yourself, and the book will say, it might say independent. It might say with replacement. Okay? It might say either one of those. I don't know which one the homework or the test question will say. Okay? So here we go. 1 draw, 2 draws, 3 draws. So you pick 1 blue marble. What's the probability of picking a blue marble? 7 out of what? 7 out of 23, right? So what do you do with that marble after you pick the blue marble out? What do you do with it? Put it back in. So what's the probability of picking the next blue marble? And the third. Or we could rewrite this as 7 over 23 to the what power? And the 3, the exponent with these guys, is how many what? How many picks? So if I say what is the probability of picking 5 blue marbles, it would be to the 5th power. So somebody take your handy dandy calculator, and I would do parentheses, set node. Well, somebody do 7 to the 3rd power for me, and somebody do 23 to the 3rd power, because I want to write it out for you. Most of y'all will turn it into a decimal, and that's fine, but I'm going to write it out for the board. Somebody give me 7 to the 3rd power. They go
343.
343. And 23 to the 3rd power. 12,400 and what? 12,168.
67.
100. 67. And somebody give me 4 decimal places. Just say point. Don't do the 0 point, it messes me up. So just give me point what?
Work email.
0.0282.
Okay, do it one more time.
0.0282.
Everybody get that?
Yes.
So what is it? Dang old 3%. You got a 3% chance of picking all 3 blue marbles, one right behind the other. All right, so make sure you got that written down. So now we're going to do without replacement. So now I'm going to erase the board. I'm going to leave the answer there for a reason. So now I'm going to change this to dependent and without replacement. I'm going to do it in red. So let's do the first draw. What is the first draw? What is the probability of picking a blue marble in the first draw? 7 over what? 23. What do you do with that marble when you pick it? Put it in your pocket. So now what's the second draw? 6 over what? And the third? 5 over 21. Now somebody crank that out. I don't want the fraction. I just want you to give me, and Dr. Harden at Clemson,
You have a work email.
that means, yeah, I'm doing that. Okay, that's what 3 dots mean. Yeah, I'm doing that. And somebody give me 4 decimal places. Point what? 0, 1, 9,
You
8.
have a work email.
Are they the same? Not really. But we're fixing to change something. Okay? So that's how you do without replacement. Everybody with me? Now I want you to put 2 zeros on each one of those marbles in the bag. So I'm going to go over here while everybody's writing that down. Oh, I got to write in different colors again. So the green, there's 400. The blue,
You have a work email.
there's 700.
You have a work email.
Somebody is blowing up my phone. 700. The red is 800. And the 4 is, the yellow is 400. Now I want you to redo the first one, with replacement. So I'm going to take out all of this. The with replacement. So the independent with replacement. So in other words, I'm going to put it back in, nothing's going to change. So what's the first draw? 700 over what? 2300 raised to the what? Third power. Well, you're going to get the same answer you got before. Because what happens to the zeros? And you're left with 7 over 23, which is what? I just wanted y'all to go through and see that. Now do it without replacement. And see what happens. So we're going to do that in red. So what's the first draw? 700 over 2300. Somebody tell me what the second draw is. 699 over 2299. Y'all remember 100 bottles of beer on the wall? Same concept. What's the next one? Over? Okay, somebody crank that out. I know it'll take a couple of minutes, but somebody crank it out and give me 4 digits.
You have a work email.
Oh my gosh. That's what, 8 emails in the last? Oh, it's questions in the calculus class. My next class. It's beginning to wonder. Let's see, thank you. Okay, somebody give me the numbers. 4 digits. I'm sorry, what?
0.0198.
It should be the same as that.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
You got 0282?
Yeah.
Okay. You should get the same as that over there.
Yeah, I did it wrong.
Okay, that's all right. You just a disappointment, that's all. 0.0282. Well, then what can we learn from this? What can we assess from this? Because we can't use learn. We have to use assess. What have we assessed from this? The bigger the numbers,
More uniform the answer.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about which way to do it. So where's a good cutoff? I tell students 3 digits, 300 and above. Let's write this in red. Now it doesn't hold up in court. I mean, I don't know if it's proven, but I tell students 3 digits, 300 and above. And I'll show you this probably, let's see, I'll look to see what time it is. I'd like to show you next, but 3 digits, 300 and above. What if I had 199, 200, 150, and what? 100. Should you do it the way they tell you? Yes. What if you had this? Then it doesn't matter which way you do it. Does that make sense? Now, I tell students as a rule, I've done so many of these problems that when I see any numbers above 300, I know it doesn't matter. Anything below 300, you might want to stay, with the method they tell you, whether dependent or independent. Does that make sense? Okay. What time is it? It's 9:30. 9:25 is when class stops, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got time. Yes, sir.
When I did with replacement, without replacement, I got 0.0281 and then a 0.6.
They give tolerances on the homework and the test to the 10,000th. Okay. So you'll be okay. Shouldn't go off at 9:05.
It's currently 9:00.
I tell you what, I'm going to let you go because I left off with the other class right here, so that way I can keep everybody. Okay, when y'all come back, we will do another example of this, and we will also go into counting with factorials, and that's the lottery, and the trifecta, and order, permutations, and combinations, and all that, okay? But I want to take the roll, though, so don't leave yet.